Hello! Hi guys, my name is Zinjy and welcome back to the Let's Play series. In our last episode guys, which seems like a long time ago now, we were over back in the nether building up the rest of our gold farm, and as you can see from the contraption behind me, the gold and its necessary loot from the actual farm itself gets sorted out rather nicely. Yeah, as you can probably see, we've got the storage system kicking in behind us, so when everything shoots down, it gets shot along the ice road path and gets put into the hopper that has the necessary item in it to get sorted, and it has been working great. Yeah, it has been working really well. And then we've got a little lava blade at the end just in case there's anything overflows, that we're not sort of chugging things up and creating lag on the world. But yeah, it has been working well. I don't have masses amount of gold, but I do have enough to get our next project started today, and that next project is going to be taking place in that small little hole that you can see right there. And for those of you who do watch my series and managed to catch the last episode, then you'll know that we were down here in this hole towards the end of the last episode, clearing out a space because we were going to be building a bartering farm. Yes, we're going to build a bartering farm just in this space right here, so we're not too far away from the gold farm. So maybe we can auto transport the gold down. I'm not overall fussed on that idea, to be honest. I mean, it would be cool, but I'm not too bothered. If we do it, we do it. We don't, we don't. But we need to get a piglin bartering farm set up in this sort of space here. We may have to make this bigger. I just sort of dug this out in the last episode. I didn't really calculate anything out. I just went for a decent sized space. I think this is a decent sized space, and we probably could get a bartering farm in this. But as you can tell, it's just a dugout room. We have loads of work to do. We actually need to build the farm up, and we need to get the piglins in as well, which is never a fun thing to do, especially when you want to get them in a specific spot. But I'm sure we'll manage. But we need to get this started. So let's gather up some resources, and then we can start off just sort of laying things out around the room where we want certain things to go. And then, of course, we still need to collect the piglins. I'm not looking forward to that. Right, we have the room tidied up ever so slightly, as you can see, just a bit better than it was. And I also have a plan of attack. Yeah, I know exactly what I want to do for building this farm. So I just want to get a couple of blocks sort of laying down, so we can see where things are. Now this farm, it's going to be relatively big. I think I'm going to go with 6 piglins. So even if we have the piglins just sort of sitting, this room is fairly big as it is. So we have, like, say one here, one here, one here, one here, one here, and one here. It doesn't necessarily have to be exactly that. We can move it across a little bit. And what I'm thinking is we have an input chest. Probably, I mean, these will probably be embedded into the floor, I would reckon. We'll have an input chest here, which will connect to a hopper minecart, and it'll run along the top and back, delivering the gold into the piglin chamber. And then obviously there'll be a dropper that'll shoot it down, which will probably come onto a block. The piglin will stand on this, and then there'll be a block just sitting off to the side here that'll land on that block, and then piglin will pick up, obviously do the trading, spit it into the hopper. Then what I'm thinking on the bottom side is we'll have a dropper connected to this hopper, all these hoppers shooting down. But then what we'll have is we're actually going to have like 6. I know it's going to make it quite bulky and quite big, and there's many other easy ways you could do it, but I can't want to say it. I want to come up with my own idea. So this kind of sounds quite cool, and it might look quite cool. It might look a total mess, but we'll see. So one thing is we're going to have 6 ice path roads like we have up there. So we'll have the longest one here, so it'll be shooting that direction, and it'll be a few blocks down. So we'll probably start this side, and this one will go maybe like 2 blocks, because we want a central point, which will probably be here, like we have up at the gold farm, where all items come to one area and then they get pushed along by the piston. And then we'll have another ice boat. We'll have another ice road going along this way, and then we'll have our storage under the floor here, and this is where we'll have the big bulk storage for all the items. At least that's the plan. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. And I've now started building up the chambers just to get these in, so I know exactly where everything's going to be sitting, and then I can work it all out from there. These are looking quite cool. I've just gone with the nether wood varieties, just sort of mixed up. It does look quite jumbled, but I actually kind of like it. It's kind of cool. It adds that twisted kind of feel. Piglins are quite evil. You mess with them, you're going to suffer. And I love the wood types. I especially love these. The warp variety. They're awesome. So I wanted to incorporate them in the build. I wanted to design this quite nicely, and it looks quite cool. And I've dug out the trench underneath so we can see all the hoppers where they're going to connect. And then we'll get down there very shortly and put in, the ice roads to where they're going to come to one point, and then we'll shoot them across to the storage, yes. But I just wanted to get this in first. So I kind of knew, you know, whereabouts things were going to be, and then from here we can build up the minecart rail, which is going to go along the top. We can get the droppers in, you know, for the distribution system. But then of course the piglins are the worst part. We need to get them in somehow. But yeah, it's looking quite cool so far. And what we want to do is probably get a distribution system in first. I think that's probably going to be the best idea here. And then from that, obviously, you know, we can work out everything else. So I'm just going to pop all the droppers in just now. And then once they're all in, then we can work out our minecart, you know, hopper system for the actual item distribution into the droppers. Which will probably, the chest will probably have around here. Yes, probably around here. And then obviously I'll go into the hopper minecart. It'll run along the back, all across all these droppers. It'll drop one off, come back, and I'll just keep doing that. And then we'll have to work out obviously the redstone for the droppers to activate, which shouldn't be too difficult. It should just be basically a compiler run into it, and then it'll activate it once it does it. And then of course that'll keep the gold constantly flowing into the actual farm itself, so our piglins can give us those valuable drops. And I think that's probably going to be the best, but as I say, I'm not looking forward to getting the piglins in. I've now got the majority of the distribution system now in, as you can see here. As I say, it's just basically a hopper minecart we're using. There's nothing fancy about it. I don't know if I can get on up there, but it's power running right along. We've got the hoppers running into the actual droppers, and I've done it the smart way instead of just having one hopper per dropper. So sometimes when a hopper minecart goes along, it can actually skip the hopper and not deposit an item. So what you do is you actually just use two hoppers. You do the one just before it pointing into this hopper, which then points to the dropper. So then you're guaranteed there's coverage on each dropper each time, and there's going to be no missed items or no skipped items. And as I say, it's just basically a simple hopper minecart system. It just runs along. We've got a glowstone lamp, a redstone lamp at the bottom here, sorry, just to let us know, and then it just runs back and forth, just let us know when the farm's obviously on. We'll hear it anyway, but I thought it was quite a nice little cool addition, just to have a little light to indicate when it was actually switched on and when it's not. As I say, I know you can hear it, but I like this. That's quite cool. I like automation. I like automation that's interactive, and this one's interactive, so it's quite cool. But yeah, it's the basis so now in, but I do need to obviously put the redstone at the back for the droppers to activate when obviously the gold goes into the droppers. Just as I'm waiting to put the redstone at the back, I have noticed a glaring flaw with this design. This right here, and what I'm thinking is that when the piglins are obviously chucking their items, they may get stuck on this block right here, and if they do, the hopper's not going to pick them up. So that could be a glaring problem. So I might have to actually, yes, I'm going to have to sort of reshuffle and probably do a complete redesign on this part here. It shouldn't require too much. I've got it, I think. Hopefully. So basically what we're going to do is we're just going to push the droppers back one block. Instead of having them facing down, we'll actually have them just facing onto this. What we'll do is we'll place a block here and we'll have them facing onto this block here. And then once we place, say, a block right here, we can have a pressure plate sitting on top of this block, and then we'll run a bit of redstone that'll go around the back, that when a gold ingot in a way goes on the pressure plate, it'll then fire the dropper, you know, it'll fire the redstone round, activate the dropper, and then fire another gold ingot on it. And with the piglin standing in here, even though there's two blocks here and he has no direct, you know, sight of it, he should still be able to pick it up even through the block. At least that's what I'm hoping is going to happen. If it doesn't, then we're sort of in trouble, but I'm fairly sure that should work. The piglin should be able to pick up through the blocks. But yeah, I'll build this redstone up and I'll sort of show you what I mean. Right, I've rebuilt it back to kind of how we had it before. Obviously, I've implemented the changes and added the sort of chambers on as well. I went with the, you know, this crimson block on sort of both. I think it looks quite cool. As I say, I love the design and the way it sort of glows. But what I'm thinking is once we get the piglins in here, we'll replace this top block with like a shroom light. Just add a bit of light into the actual farms itself. But what I'll do is I'll show you the actual redstone. For the part I did actually change, as I say, so I basically swapped out the dropper. Obviously we had it pointing down, now we've got pointing into the side. I still need to put the redstone on the back, so I'll need to do that, and then you can sort of see what I mean by how it works and that. But the basis of it is the hopper obviously pick up the gold, run it along, it'll feed it into each of these droppers. I've gone with one hopper, and I think previously I was going to go with two hoppers, but you know what, it shouldn't break in any way. You know, I mean, hoppers are usually quite good, and I reckon if we're double stacking it, then it may cause problems doing that. So we'll just stick with the one. That's gonna be easiest. So we'll have the hopper sticking in the side, which goes into the dropper. It'll run along. It'll be able to pick up a gold ingot sort of through. It'll pop it in the dropper. Now because you'll be thinking, how are you initially going to activate it? Because if it goes in, it's not going to automatically dispense, and that's right, it's not going to. Hence why down here I've got a little circuit. There's a little button here. You can't actually hear anything, but when I push that, it actually activates. Let me get back on up here. there's actually a repeater signal just under this block here. I think it's just under in there somewhere, and it actually runs along connecting each of these blocks going all the way along. So basically before we start the farm up, as long as we hit the button, it'll activate all the droppers to at least dispense 1 gold ingot. Then of course the piglins will pick up, then we can flick the system on, and then it should just run, and then but obviously this will just feed it back and forward, and then it should automatically then dispense. But as I said, I still need to put the rest of the redstone at the back to actually make it work. And that redstone has now been placed in, guys. It is quite an easy circuit. There isn't much really to it. I'll just quickly show it. So this is the dropper sitting right here. It basically has 2 blocks coming off the back of it with 2 redstone dust. And if we just go on underneath, you can see that we have a repeater just underneath the dropper pointing into this block, which has a redstone torch. Basically all it does is when a gold ingot gets dispensed out of the dropper onto the pressure plate, which is sitting on this block here, when the piglin picks up the block or the item off the pressure plate, it then just activates the system and cycles through so the dropper can then fire another one onto the pressure plate. And again, when the piglin picks it up, it then fires it again, and just so on and so forth. So as long as there's items in it, it'll keep on going. Very easy, very basic, not really complicated redstone. I actually have it all linked up now, so if we just pop this button here, you'll be able to hear this is how we're going to turn it on, so it'll fire the first ingot, so you know, we're able to actually use the farm. There we go, you can hear all the clicking there, that's it, and that's what happens when you actually turn the farm on to begin with, and that's how we'll get it started. Right, the redstone is sort of solved for all this, but I need to get, I think probably getting the piglins in now is going to be the best bet, because we're going to have to test it, because if it doesn't work, then yeah, we could have problems. Come on, dude. Come on. Whoa. Whoa. Come on. No. No. Follow me. This way. This way. This way. Come on. Keep coming. Keep coming. This single guy has taken me ages to get in. I don't have any tunnels around here. I had to try and like dig my way up and get the guy to come in. But we've got him in, finally. But I still have 5 to go. This is probably going to take me a little while, but haha, we got you, mate. And we've got 5 more in, which took a while, but we've finally got the 6 that we finally need to get this finished. Now we need to actually just sort of test it by loading it with a bit of gold and seeing how well it works, and hopefully these guys can pick it up. Right, I picked up a bit of gold from the farm, so let's just convert all this down to ingots, and let's just chuck it in and see what happens. Right, there's, I love the speed of hopper minecarts picking up stuff. So let's just let that load up a little bit. And let's just sort of fire it. Let's go. So it should start loading up the droppers. We'll have to give it a couple of seconds just to get a few items in. Right, it's probably got enough to test it. So as I say, to start this farm, we have to hit this button. So let's just hit this button here. Oh, click in. These guys should all get an ingot. Yes, so far so good. And once they've deposited their ingot, okay, yeah, so far so good. Awesome. Yeah, all I can hear is clicking, clicking. That could be a problem there, so I'm going to have to change these for full blocks instead. Yes, it is. So I'm going to have to change these for full blocks instead of panes, but that's why we do tests, just to make sure. I kind of figured that might happen, but I prefer the panes, but oh well. Okay, it works. Let's turn it off, and we can swap these out and just, you know, perform little bits and bobs that we need to do just to make this fully functional. Oh my god, there's so many items lying on the ground. Can you believe this is what we got just from that small little test? That's insane. Look how much blackstone and stuff we've got already. Awesome. This farm's going to be really OP. I'm very happy with this. Very happy with this. We're going to have a lot of stuff coming in very quickly, and you can see I've changed up all the glass panes now. So it's fully functional and working, which is great. Of course, though, we're not finished. We need to do the underside because it's still, yeah, it's still pretty bare. And I've cleared out a bit of an area just so we've got a space to work with. And what we're going to do here is, essentially, as you would imagine, we're just going to attach droppers to the bottom of these hoppers. So obviously when anything goes into the hoppers, it goes straight in the dropper and gets dispensed. That's not kind of what I wanted. So we'll link up some redstone. So anything that goes in the droppers will get shot out of the droppers. Into what we're going to have to do is probably a customized, yeah, it's going to be like a customized slime block piston launcher, because we need to align all items into the one block, and they need to be aligned properly to go along like the ice way. So we're going to have to create some sort of system where we're shooting items out into probably some sort of steered piston block going down. Yeah, I need to work that one out. Right, I've kind of worked out what I want to get in now. As you can see, we've got our piston stair block going down. This wasn't originally what I wanted to do. I wanted to use like ice pathways and that, but it was just getting a bit complicated to fit it all in with the ice pathways and pushing down. Because of course with the slime blocks that we were using, we were going to move the ice, and yeah, it was just becoming complicated very quickly. So we've just gone with the more basic design, shall we say. We're just using pistons in a line coming down, so whenever someone gets shot, obviously it'll land on top of a piston, but then all the pistons will be pushing probably at the same time. Also, it's time to put the redstone in, so they'll all push at the same time, and obviously any block that sits on top of a piston will just get pushed on top of the next piston, so on and so forth as they go down. And then they'll come to this point here where obviously we'll have to build the item sort of a liner, shall we say, so they'll get aligned to exactly where they need to go, and then we can build the ice going off in that direction with the storage underneath. But yeah, it's coming in really nicely. I do have the redstone in actually for the actual dispensers just across the way, as you can see, so everything that side is in. We just need to get all the redstone going down here. And then we need to link it up to an on and off switch. The majority of redstone is actually being built up now, as you can see, just sort of going up here. It is very basic. I've just gone with the most basic redstone you can get. I didn't want to overcomplicate things on this build. You know, if we can make it nice and easy, let's do that. So yeah, that's exactly what I did. And I've not got linked up to the lethal hopper clock yet, because we're using the same sort of system we've got up at the gold farm. Just it makes it a bit easier and it all ties it in. But I've just got this lever just now, just so you can see all the pistons extending, which they do. And this will be great, because as I say, when all the items get dispensed out of the droppers, they're going to obviously fall on top of the pistons, and when the hopper clock's running, it's just going to retract these pistons and fire them back out. And so even at the furthest point, it's just going to, as I say, like a staircase, it's just going to knock the items down each of the pistons until they reach the bottom. And when they get to the bottom, it's the same as what it's going to be for the gold farm. We have our honey block, which again was a nightmare to get. I really wish I had a honey farm like I have on Cornerstone, but I don't. That's maybe something we could work on in the future. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, they'll land on this ender chest here. The honey block pushes them along, which aligns them perfectly onto this block, and then we'll have the slime block here, which then fires them across what's going to be a nice road going this way. I was going to put it going that direction, but I've decided to just keep it all compact underneath the farm, so we're going to have it going that direction, and then of course I need to put the storage in as well. But I still need to link the redstone up for this to get it all sort of working. I need to sync it all up, so you know, this one fires first before this one fires, but it shouldn't be too complicated. But I do need to get the hopper clock in to actually get it all working, because that's going to be the on and off switch for the actual, you know, farm itself. Yeah, I'd say still got a little bit more to get done, and that little bit more has now been done. We have the on and off switch for the farm, and we have almost all the redstone in now. Yeah, believe it or not, this switch right here, which is the one that sends our minecart off, is actually the switch that turns the whole bartering farm on and off. Yeah, I've linked all up to this one individual switch. I don't want buttons and switches everywhere, because also we have to have this button here to initiate the start of the farm, but then this switch here is actually what controls the rest of it. And I'll show you what I mean. You can see there's a piston there. That's a sticky piston with slime blocks underneath. We're just popping in here. This is our etho hopper clock, you know, just a standard hopper clock like we've got up at the gold farm. I've gone with the same amount of items in it as I had up at the gold farm, which was 6, and that just, you know, it did well up at the gold farm, so I thought I would try it, and it actually works really well for here, and it times it all perfectly. You can see we've had additions since I last sort of showed you. We've got a sticky piston here with slime blocks going down. If I just swing on down here, we've got a little redstone line with the exact same, another sticky piston with slime blocks, which goes across to the honey block and the slime block, and this is also what pushes our items to line them up, and it pushes them along the ice road when we get it in. But this is all timed to perfection. I will turn it on and I can show you all sort of working. Right, let me just hit the lever, and that's it. It turns the minecart on. It also extends the piston, as you can see there. So if we just drop one down here, you can see our hopper clock is working, and all our pistons are firing, which is amazing. I absolutely love it. If I get in this corner, it's the best place to see it. So you can see all the pistons firing first, then the honey block fires, then the slime block fires, and it's all timed to perfection, so everything falls exactly where it should, exactly when it needs to. Oh, this took a while, but I still need to put the storage in, and after a lot more digging, the storage is now in. This is finally finished. Yeah, oh man, it's taken me a little while. I didn't realize how much digging I was actually going to have to do for this whole thing, but it looks cool. It looks so cool. I know it's quite expansive coming down, and yeah, there is easier ways I could have done it and stuff, but you know what? As I always like to do things myself, and I think this has turned out really, really well. The last thing we need to do is actually test it. I've got all the filters and stuff in. We just need to put gold in and actually give it a quick test. Right, moment of truth. Let's get this loaded up. So I've just got me a couple of stacks just now, just to get it initially going. Right, that should be done. Right, moment of truth. Let's do this. So hit this button, and I'll activate them all. There we go, they've got their gold, and flick this switch on. Here we go, guys. Let's see how this goes. So far, so good. Okay. There's everything getting dispensed. So this is going to be, let's say, the moment of truth, because I actually hadn't thoroughly tested this part. So far, so good though. Wow, look at the items coming out. Whoa. So far, yeah, I would say we're doing well. We're doing well. There goes items. Oh, it's working. It's working. Yep, let's see where this goes. Shoots across. Perfect. And it should all be coming in. Oh, hello. Oh, I could stand here all day and watch this. This is so cool. Yeah, awesome. Oh, we've done it, guys. We have done it. We have a working system. This is so cool. Look at all our piglin friends trading away all those valuable items that they have. Ah, this is awesome. We're done. Obviously it needs decorated, but I want to get like blackstone and stuff before I actually decorate, because I want to decorate with blackstone and that. And obviously I don't have any, so I'm going to have to run this farm a little bit longer. But we're finished. The bartering farm is complete. What an episode this has been. I have enjoyed every second. I love coming up with my own designs for stuff. And this has certainly been one of those designs that's taken a little while to do. But I'm going to end the episode there today, guys. As I say, we've had a great time. I hope you guys have enjoyed it as well. I've loved building this up from scratch. It's been awesome. It's really cool to do. You know, just try to technically think of what we can do to get it going and that. And oh, it's been so cool. Anyway, guys, as I say, I'm going to end it there for today. So if you have liked what you've seen, by all means, highlight down below. And if you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing. Anyway, guys, that's it from me today. And I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Bye, guys.